this is Abby from Realistic Kitchen and Gardens, and today we're doing a whole bunch of plant things. So we're going to start off with transplanting some catnip from these seedlings that came up, of course, at all different times. So I have this seed tray filled with seed starting mix, which is actually the same seed starting mix I used to start the catnip to begin with, but just some fresh stuff since it's gotten a little compacted. So to transplant these, you don't want to pick them up by the stem will just break. You want to hold them by the leaves, and this is actually after their first set of true leaves. The goofy little ones that stick out to the side under it are not true leaves, so you want to wait till they're a little bit bigger. Some of these were really quite small to even transplant at all, but I needed the container, so we'll see how it goes. I know I've killed at least one of these, but it's fine. That's why we overplant, because we expect these to die. So I transplanted all these little baby catnips. These are to be companions with my potatoes, along with a bunch of cilantro. I will have a total of 12 catnip plants to be able to disperse over my 50 feet of potatoes, so we'll see. And just a reminder, this is what my more mature catnip is. This is the one that I started on 3-3. And then I'm going to be transplanting that very sad clump of dill. There ended up being, I think, 9 plants. So same thing, I just stuck them in a bunch of seed starting mix and transplanted them. I use dill plenty. I love dill, so more the merrier, and it's a cool crop. You can actually direct seed it outside now if you really wanted. But I decided I would keep it in pots. So there it is, all potted up. Next is we are transplanting these Zermatt leeks into the empty tray. The tray with the dill and the Zermatt leeks are going to be one of my 3 trays that I'm hardening off this week. So these leeks can just be pulled apart and separated once they're hardened off. Onions and allium specifically are very forgiving that way. You can't do that with a lot of other things. So luckily these just pop right out of their tray and I stick them in. This was actually the whole packet of leeks I got. I got a pretty good germination rate. I only need 24 of them, but I'm going to treat these baby leeks similar to what people call bunching onions or scallions, green onions, whatever. I'm going to use them as spring leeks, baby leeks. Plants next to it, by the way, are the celeriac, my brilliant celeriac. I have 10 of those. And then this is just an update for you. So this is the parsley that I planted on, I think, 213. It's pretty scraggly. I'm sure the soil is pretty compacted, but that's more for indoor use than outdoor. This is the tiara cabbage. All of these were planted, I believe, on 227. So there's 3 tiara cabbage. And then I have red acre cabbage. This is just a red variety of a small variety of cabbage that I am going to grow this spring. We'll see if I like them. If not, I have a whole nother variety that come in red and green. This is my broccoli rabe, 2 of 4 plants I'm going to have. I just seeded another set on 329. These will be hardened off and transplanted out. And then lastly is the arugula. I have 4 arugula plants. I didn't really plan on growing arugula in the spring, so we'll see what happens to these. They may not survive hardening off. They've had a rough time with the hardening off process. And then next up are my Figaro shallots. These were the things I were most excited for, and they've flopped. I only have 19 of them. And now we are transplanting all of these little teeny tiny dwarf petunias. The process is very similar to transplanting the catnip. You just need to wait for these stupid teeny things to be about a month old. Ideally about the size of the largest ones I had here, but they were just getting too compacted and starting to overshadow each other. So I think I kept 20 of these, and these are going to be companions to my bush beans. And this is a good example of culling the really teeny tiny plants and keeping the best ones. We'll see how well these survive transplant. Some of them were really teeny too. And then I'm using just a small, gentle spray bottle to water everything. These catnips are so small, they grow so slowly. I'm not sure any of the catnip is going to make the transplant, so we'll see. And then last up is our planting of all the things. So I'm laying out how many of each cell I need of each variety with my reference sheet next to me, as you can see. I'm putting in 2 types of tomatoes, 3 types of basil, zinnias, and marigolds. I didn't do a very good job of showing off all the packets, so I'm doing Roma tomato, which is a determinate variety from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, beefsteak tomato, which is an indeterminate slicer variety from Seeds of Change. I'm doing flowering Thai basil from Fedco Seeds. I'm doing dark opal purple basil from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. I'm doing sweet basil, large leaf, from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. This is supposed to be the best for the actual basil flavor, traditional basil flavor. And the marigolds are a French variety of marigolds. They're very, very short to the ground. And they come in either like a light orange or a bright little yellow. And these are seeds I saved from last year. And then lastly is the Cherry Queen zinnias that I got in my last seed order from Pine Tree Seeds. So all of these seeds I'm going to plant 3 of each in, and I'm going to cull all the really little ones to make sure I get enough of each plant. I'm doing 3 cells with 3 seeds each of Roma tomatoes first. I obviously want 3 plants. These are going to be excellent sauce making tomatoes, and I'm just barely covering them with soil, between 1/8 to 1/4 inch of soil. Same thing with beefsteak. If you try to save your own seed of tomato seeds, you have to ferment them because they have a very strong gel on the outside that usually keeps them from sprouting inside the mother fruit. Next one is the dark purple opal basil. I only want 2 of these plants, companions for peppers or tomatoes. Again, lightly covering with about 1/8 to 1/4 inch of soil. This is the flowering Thai basil. I'm sorry I didn't get the package for you. I think this is a really lovely basil. Thai basil has a lot smaller leaves, but this is specifically bred for the flowers, and I want it to be companion for my tomatoes and peppers again, just to help attract bees and improve pollination. I'm planting 4 of these variety. Light cover with soil, 1/8 to 1/4 inch. Again, I'm sorry for the package. This is the sweet basil large leaf from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. These are all new basil varieties for me this year, so I'm excited to see how they do. I grew Genovese basil last year, and I made pesto with it last year, and I'm certainly going to grow more. So here's the Cherry Queen zinnia from Pine Tree. I very generously left the package in frame. These seeds were brand new to me. I've never seen zinnia seeds, so I was kind of amused at how funny they look, but I only need 3 of these plants. These are going to be companions to my zucchini plant. I'm only growing 1 zucchini for chocolate zucchini bread, and then I'm lightly covering up with 1/8 to 1/4 inch soil. And these are the French marigold seeds. I've actually accidentally started whole new plants last year just by dropping some of the seeds, so I'm not even going to be covering these seeds with soil. I'm going to be doing 3 per cell, and If the zinnia doesn't come up well, then I'll end up replanting and just pressing it on the soil, kind of like I am here. So if you like this kind of stuff, like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around for more.